Itu karena kelarutan itu fungsi dari temperatur, fungsi dari tadi kemarin kita sudah jelaskan ada ukuran atom, ada macam-macam ya, lebih ke chemical ya. Tetapi intinya kita baca aja gitu ya, istilahnya baca dari sini. Kelarutan itu ngikuti garis ini, ya kan? Garis Solfus namanya, ya kan? Solfus line ini. Artinya apa? Artinya kalau kita dinginkan, maka yang awalnya 16%, ya kan? Di sini berapa? 16 ya di titik ini, 16. Di sini 16, exactly di titik ini adalah 16%. Jumlah SN di dalam PB-nya 16. Jadi kalau ada 100 PB, ada 16 yang digantikan oleh SN. Ya kan? Atau itu komposisinya 16 perempuan, 84 laki-laki. Kira-kira begitu. Ya kan? Tapi begitu ini diturunkan, ya temperaturnya, apa yang terjadi? Yang terjadi adalah jumlah yang 16 tadi itu harus berkurang. Karena apa? Karena PB tidak mau terlalu banyak ada SN di dalamnya. Ya kan, tergantung temperatur kan. Kalau temperatur itu semacam energi lah. Kalau nggak ada energinya, terpaksa kan harus ngeluarin yang SN. Nah, SN-nya makanya dikeluarin ya. Kalau SN itu keluar, di sini adalah atom yang warna merah. Apa yang dia lakukan? Dia akan membentuk kelompok sendiri, fasa sendiri. Nah, fasa itu kita namakan beta. Ya kan, ada fasa sendiri. Namanya beta. Di dalam beta juga ada PP nanti ya di sebelah kanannya, tapi sedikit jumlahnya. Kita ngomonginnya mostly SN, ya kan? Ngikuti garis ini. Misalnya di sini berarti di sini berapa ini, Pak? Di sini ngikuti garisnya aja. Kalau di sini ya 11. Jadi sekarang yang warna biru itu yang tadi komposisinya 84% adalah PB, sekarang naik jadi lebih tinggi, ya kan? Jadinya berapa? 8 berapa ini? Ini 12 berarti 88 kan gitu. Jadi sekarang komposisinya adalah 88 PB, 12 SN. Kenapa? Ya karena cuma 16 di temperatur itu. Kalau kita turunkan lagi, dia turun lagi dia. Di sini turun lagi. Sampai kalau kita di temperatur kamar yang kita dapatkan berapa di sini? Ya ngikuti kira-kira 3%. Jadi pada temperatur kamar itu dominan PB warna biru itu dominan. Hanya ada 3 di antara 100 atom itu adalah yang warna merah atau yang SN. Kenapa? Ya karena dia fungsi temperatur itu. Namanya kelarutan seperti itu. Semakin tinggi semakin banyak, tapi semakin rendah semakin dikit yang mampu dilarutkan. Kira-kira begitu ya cerita bahasa Indonesia. Jadi seperti itu modelnya. Jadi apa yang dilakukan kalau kamu misalnya di ini merah ini istilahnya diusir ya, karena temperaturnya turun, PB nggak mampu lagi melarutkan, maka yang merah diusir keluar, gitu kan ya, diusir keluar. Apa yang kamu lakukan kalau kamu diusir? Kamu harus bentuk kelompok sendiri kan. Kalau kamu keluar dari kelompok, yang kamu lakukan adalah bikin kelompok sendiri. Makanya kelompok sendiri itu kita namakan beta. Kenapa? Karena beta itu juga solution sebenarnya. Di kelompok itu juga ada atom biru sebenarnya, tapi sedikit gitu ya. Nah, seperti itu modelnya ya. Jadi seperti itu. Jadi makin temperaturnya makin rendah dia makin banyak warna merahnya ya. Warna merahnya makin banyak. Jadi seperti itu. Kira-kira seperti itu apa ceritanya. Ngikuti solvus line ini. Ikuti solvus line ini. Berapa jumlah warna merah itu ngikuti solvus line ini. Kalau nggak ada solvus line gimana, Pak? Ya dia kayak CUNI itu sistemnya. Jadi dia perfectly dissolve each other. Jadi mereka tetap ada di situ kapanpun. Jumlahnya berapapun mereka bisa. Temperatur berapapun mereka bisa ngikuti diagram fasa yang CUSN. Itu kalau enggak ada keterbatasan sama sekali. Nah, kita itu ngomongin sesuatu yang terbatas kelarutannya. Jadi larutan terbatas. Kayak gula di dalam air itu ya kan. Kalau 80 kita temperatur 80 derajat, kelarutannya 80% misalnya, ya kan. Berarti kan kita ngelihatnya sirup aja kalau 80 derajat. Tapi kalau itu didinginkan, kamu akan lihat gula, ya kan. Karena apa? Karena gula tidak bisa dilarutkan pada temperatur kamar sampai 80 derajat, 80%, bisanya cuma 65. Jadi kalau kamu nambahin gula sebanyak 80%, maka 15%-nya berupa gula, nggak bisa larut di dalam air. Kenapa? Karena larutannya terbatas. Kamu puter udah terus, ya tetap nggak bisa larut. Karena lebih ke chemical itu, bukan fisik. Jadi lebih ke chemical. yaitu nanti ada interaksi antara molekul, ada van der Waals, ada repulsion, electrostatic repulsion, macam-macam, banyak teori yang menyatakan itu, tapi itu istilahnya advance ya. Ya, kita ngikuti aja yang sudah orang teliti ya di fisik dan chemistry. Nah, kira-kira begitu. Mengerti ya, Mas? Siapa tadi?
Ya, Pak, paham, Pak. Terima kasih, Pak.
Paham ya?
Ya.
Semua paham ya? Kalau nggak paham, tolong ini ya, karena ini fundamental sampai kapanpun ini kiri dan kanan nanti sama ceritanya. Nanti karena setelah ini kita punya cerita yang lain yang agak nggak make sense juga. Jadi ya make sense sih, cuman bagi kalian yang baru mungkin little bit difficult to follow it gitu, karena yeah, something new for you. So maybe it is bit challenging to follow the concept. Tapi jangan pernah berjanji kamu belajar sendiri ya, karena nggak bisa. Ya, bukan nggak bisa, bukan nggak percaya sama kamu, nggak. Di buku lebih sulit penjelasannya, di YouTube ya juga nggak ada gitu ya. Ada mungkin, tapi saya coba-coba cari supaya kalian bisa belajar. Kayaknya nggak. Jadi kita belajar di sini aja sampai kamu bisa. Nah nanti kalau ketemu yang 2 minggu lagi, kita nanti belajar tentang diagram fasa besi baja atau iron carbon diagram, phase diagram. Ini nanti sama juga kayak gini, nanti banyak konsep kayak gini. Nanti kalau kita bicara tentang penguatan aluminium, kita juga harus tahu konsep ini. Kalau kita mau mendesain aluminium untuk wing, sayap pesawat, kita harus tahu konsep ini juga. Ini konsep ini dipakai dimanapun untuk kita membicarakan tentang bagaimana kalau aluminium itu kita kuatkan gitu ya. Kita bikin untuk struktur atau apa, itu gimana caranya. Ngikuti konsep ini. Begitu konsep ini tahu, most of thing ya, many thing in metallurgy you can understand. Makanya saya santai aja, ya. Jadi cepet-cepet nanti nggak ngerti. Saya santai aja. Jadi yang penting ngerti. Oke, kalau misalnya belum silakan. Kalau sudah, alhamdulillah ya. Perlu dites ini kalian kayaknya. Kuis. Oke. Ya, sebelum kita membahas tentang eutectic, before we talking about eutectic, yeah, we come back a little bit to this Cooper-Nickel diagram, and then we talking about cooling curve. So what is cooling curve? It's basically tell you about how the temperature is decreased over the time when some amount of alloy is cooled down. Okay, it is probably simple if you have imagine something like this. So you have a glass of water. Okay, you have a glass of water, and this is about 50 degrees Celsius. 50 degrees Celsius. And then you put a thermometer, or we call it a thermocouple in the language, in the engineering language, or in many engineering field, people not call it a thermometer. Thermometer is for common, but we call it a thermocouple. Thermocouple means a couple, thermocouple, because it's made of couple of metallic things. And then it means you can measure the temperature. Okay, you can measure the temperature here. So it is the measurement in degrees Celsius. So then I would like to make an ice. I put this thing into a freezer, refrigerator or freezer, and then I put the freezer like this, including with the thermometer, or better, the thermometer is outside, but something that you can read the temperature, you can read. Then I will make a graph telling me how the temperature is progress inside the freezer. Okay, so then you have a plot, right? On the y-axis you have temperature, on the x-axis you have time. So you have time here. So this is temperature and time diagram. In the beginning, when it is started, it is 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, and you put the things here, 50 degree. Okay, this is 50 degrees Celsius. So then, when it is cooled down, you just measure the temperature. Yeah, you just monitor the temperature. So it is not manual. You can use any computer or programming or thing like that. But let's probably this such kind of manual stuff. So you read this thermometer, and this tell you that okay, in the, for example, after 1 minute it is 40 degree. It is 50, and then after 5 minutes it is 40. Until every 5 minutes, every 1 minute you record the temperature. It's cooling down. 50, 40, 30, 25, 20, 15. You make a nice, okay? You make a nice. And then 1 and 0. This is the string thing. So whenever it is 0, which means that at some point in your glass will be ice formation here. Why? Because this is 0 degree, where the ice start to form. So what happened in your temperature now? After 5 minutes, you still observe it is the temperature is still constant. It's still 0 degree. It's still 0. Okay, no decreasing of the temperature. And then still increase the amount of ice now. It's increase until 50% of your glass of water is now ice. Now my question: the temperature is decreased, or it starts, or it is fixed or constant at 0 degree? So what is the answer? What do you think? When you have mixture of ice and water inside a freezer, when water is transformed to an ice, what is the temperature? You observe it decrease or constant?
Constant.
It's constant. Yeah, correct. It's constant. Why? This is a phase transformation. So the phase transformation, it's the temperature is not going down. Yeah. This is still constant because it's pure. It's still constant until 90% or 100% of the ice is already transformed. 100% is already ice, or 100% of the water already transformed into an ice. Then it is start to going down until minus 518 maybe, because the freezer is set minus 518. So you have a diagram like this, something like that. Okay. So this thing, this curve, we call it a cooling curve. We call it cooling curve of pure water. Pure. This is cooling curve of pure water. If you have a pure nickel, so what happened? Liquid to solid nickel. Pure nickel is here. This thing. So let's. Pure nickel is here. So this pure nickel, this is pure copper. So if you draw a cooling curve diagram of pure nickel during the transformation of liquid nickel into solid, or solidification of nickel, something like that. So here the starting is 1,500 here. So whatever that 1,500, you have something like that. If it is cooling down, then the temperature is cooling down like that. But if it is reached this temperature, which is the melting point of nickel, then the temperature is constant until all the nickel becomes solid, then it's going down. So this is the cooling curve of pure stuff. Pure, yeah, murni. This is time pure. So if you have pure, then you have constant temperature. You have pure. It is also the same thing if you have 100% copper here. So the cooling curve will be something like that. But let's see this. If you have composition of this composition, and you try to monitor the temperature during the cooling. So what happens is that, okay, we start, and this all liquid here, and you put the thermocouple inside, you monitor the temperatures, and see that it start to cooling down here. See that the gradient until up to this point, which point is this start to form alpha. Yeah, start to solidify from liquid to solid. But this is not pure stuff. It's not pure. Therefore, it's not something like that. Snow. So that's cooling down, something like that, but different gradient. And then until everything is finished, and then start to cooling down, something like that. So this is a cooling curve. We call it a cooling curve. So cooling curve is telling you about the temperature progression during a cooling of a stuff. Or then you have a heating curve. It's when you heat it stuff. Basically, just the same thing. It's not a big difference, but this is cooling curve. Just monitor the temperature when you cool down something, a phase. It can be pure and can be not pure. Not pure mean alloy. So the message of this slide is that tell you the cooling curve of a pure stuff, sesuatu yang murni dengan sesuatu yang paduan atau solid solution itu berbeda. Kalau yang murni itu ada konstan temperaturnya. Jadi kalau air jadi es, dia konstan 0 derajat dulu baru. Sama dengan kalau kita mendidihkan air. Gimana kalau mendidihkan air? Kalau kamu panasi set sampai 100, temperaturnya naik dari 105, bisa nggak? Bisa.
Enggak, Pak.
Yang lain bisa nggak jawab? Bisa nggak? Nggak bisa, nggak mungkin bisa. Dia 100 saja. Sampai kapan? Sampai kapan?
Sampai airnya habis menguap, Pak.
Ya, betul. Sampai habisnya menguap. Baru nanti pancinya kosong ya, 150 derajat, 200 derajat. Jadi kalau kamu menanak sesuatu, temperaturnya berapa maksimum? Ya 100. Nggak bisa lebih, oke? Ya. Kembalikan. Taruh di sini. Ya, jadi kayak gitu. Jadi konstan. Gimana caranya supaya bisa menanak sesuatu temperaturnya lebih dari 100? Ada yang punya ide?
Kanannya, Pak. Kanannya ditambah.
Kanannya ditambah, betul ya, 100. Makanya ada panci presto itu ya. Panci presto itu panci yang di tekanannya nggak boleh keluar. Jadi nah, makanya kalau menanaknya pakai panci presto itu tekanannya bisa naik sehingga titik didih dari air bisa lebih tinggi dari 100, sehingga bisa lebih cepat matang, tulang-tulang jadi lebih empuk gitu, kayak gitu. Jadi seperti itu. So it will be constant at 100 degree. Okay, there is no change on because it's pure. Also, if it is condensed, then there will be some constant temperature on the surface, thing like that. Okay, this is the same thing. I will not tell you. This is also the same. Now this thing. So this thing is we call it eutectic system. So what is eutectic system? Is basically if you have a copper silver system, this is like PBSN system. Basically, what you can see here is that, okay, this is the liquidus, that everything below this line is liquid, and you have solidus, everything below this line is solid, and you have a solvus line that's tell you the solubility of, in this case is Ag inside copper. So there'll be like copper here. So this is mainly copper on the left side, and then you have Ag or silver, and then in this case on the right side you have mainly silver with some amount of copper dissolved in silver. So this is, and then the amount of copper that is dissolved in silver is this line. So this is the Solfus line of copper inside the silver, and then this line, it is tell you the capability of copper to dissolve silver. So it's mainly copper. And what is 8% mean? Yeah. What is this? Maximum of what? Maximum of silver inside copper. Okay. And then what is the maximum copper inside silver? What is that? What number is that? Maximum. So you have a copper, and then how much? Sorry, you have a silver here. How much copper that you can add? At this, at 779 degrees Celsius. How much copper?
92%, sir.
That should be 100 minus 91.2. See it?
8.8.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 8.8% maximum solubility of copper inside silver. So then that's kind of question that you will expect in exam. So if you don't understand, then you probably you should. I don't know. I didn't record it, but you don't understand. You can just ask. Now there is quite new story here. Okay, if I have this point here, this point. So if you have a liquidus and it meets in the some kind of point here. This point, there will be specific composition. So the composition will be fixed. We call it eutectic composition. And the temperature is fixed. You see that this line will meet at the point, and this is about a fixed point. This is 71.9 weight% of Ag or silver. And then temperature is 229 degrees C. So whenever we have a point like that, we call it eutectic point. Okay, eutectic point. So eutectic point, you should have two fixed stuff. So what is fixed now? It's composition and temperature. The temperature is fixed, the composition is fixed. Okay, the temperature is 779 and the composition 71.9. So what's happening in eutectic? Eutectic is behave like if you have a single phase region. So alpha, liquid, alpha and beta is axis at the same time. So whenever it is axis at the same time, one thing should be fixed, which is temperature. So this liquid alpha beta is fixed. This is something to do with the thermodynamic. Okay, if you have some 4 degree of freedom, okay, system sample. If you have a liquid alpha beta is changed, then one thing should be fixed. So that's why this temperature is fixed. So you have 3 single phase region. So so you have liquid alpha and beta is the same. It's same in the equilibrium. So what does it means? Yeah, of course, this is just something obvious, okay. And then this is, we call it composition eutectic, composition at temperature of temperature eutectic. So now that before we discuss this thing, this is just something that because it is axis three phase axis at the same time. See that liquid alpha and beta axis at the same time. Liquid alpha and beta exist at the same time. So this is means that this transformation should occur like a pure element. So it is like pure. Jadi transformasi ini kayak di logam murni atau di air yang murni ya. Jadi terjadi pada temperatur konstan. Jadi liquid berubah menjadi alfa dan beta itu temperaturnya konstan. Kayak kita membuat es dari air, gitu ya, dari air dari 0 derajat. Nah, kebetulan di sini kita ngikuti diagram fasenya ini. Diagram fase ini menunjukkan temperaturnya berapa? Temperaturnya adalah 779 degree. Jadi liquid itu transform pada temperatur 779 degree ini tidak berubah temperaturnya di temperatur itu sampai semua liquid itu menjadi alfa dan beta. Bisa bayangkan ya? Makanya titiknya satu di sini. Nggak kayak gini, titiknya itu banyak. Ini kan kalau kayak gini kan, ini dari alfa menjadi solid, tapi ngelewati ini kan, jadi temperaturnya berubah terus kayak tadi ceritanya di awal. Tapi ini enggak. Maksudnya gimana Pak? Masih bingung tuh. So, kayak gini. Jadi di sini ketika temperaturnya 779, kita bayangkan kita punya liquid ya. Punya liquid kayak gini. Ini temperaturnya pertama 780 lah ya, 780. Masih liquid kan 780. Tapi sudah menyentuh 779, apa yang terjadi? Kalau enggak alfa ya beta. Salah satu dulu. Alfa dulu terbentuk di sini, yang merah-merah. Warna yang beta dulu deh. Warna merah yang beta. Oke, warna merah yang beta. Sudah mulai terbentuk, namanya nukleus atau inti ya, inti dari beta. Biasanya kalau beta terbentuk, yang terjadi adalah alfa terbentuk juga, ya kan? Alfa terbentuk juga. Sementara tak gambarkan beda-beda ya. Tapi nanti mungkin enggak beda. Nah, ini biru ini yang alfa. Temperaturnya berubah enggak? Enggak, temperaturnya enggak berubah. Kenapa? Karena dia kayak mirip pure. Kenapa? Karena ada ini persyaratan termodinamik gitu ya. Jadi dia konstan. Jadi merah, biru, ini mungkin biru lagi. Setelah itu warna merah lagi gitu ya. Ini sulit ini karena harus ganti-ganti poin. Merah lagi di sini. Jadi yang terbentuk adalah mikrostrukturnya terbentuk apa? Selang-seling, biru merah, biru merah, biru merah gitu. Jadi itu temperaturnya konstan. Jadi ini beta dan alfa. Ini beta. Yang merah, yang biru ini alfa, yang ini liquid. Jadi liquid menjadi alfa plus beta yang seling-seling kayak kue lapis gitu ya. Warna merah, biru, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. All selang-seling gitu ya. Temperaturnya konstan. Temperaturnya itu konstan, nggak berubah. Jadi temperatur itu nggak turun, 779 ini nggak turun dulu sampai semua liquid ini berubah menjadi alfa plus beta, selang-seling. Nah, itu kenapa disebut eutectic. Jadi selang-seling. Jadi nanti gambarnya kayak gini. Selang-seling kayak gini. Jadi dia alfa beta, alfa beta, alfa beta gitu. Jadi selang-seling sampai semua liquid itu transform. Jadi kita kembali ke sini ya. Kembali ke sini. Kita kan punya gini. Jadi saya gambarkan lagi, ini yang merah. Terus di sampingnya ada yang warna biru. Sekarang aku nggak gambar lagi yang warna merah ya, ganti ini. Di merah biru. Merah biru. Sekarang yang putih warnanya biru ya. Merah biru. Jadi gini. Merah biru. Jadi seling-seling antara merah biru merah biru. Temperaturnya tidak berubah sampai semua liquid jadi kayak semua liquid menjadi solid. Until every of liquid transform to a mixture of alpha and beta. There is no change in temperature. It's like pure. There's no change. Okay, the temperature is constant. Why? Because this three phase is existing in the same time, so the temperature should constant. So that it's a constant temperature. So there will be transformation of alpha, beta, alpha, beta, alpha, beta, alpha, beta, alpha, beta. Ini selang-seling kayak kue lapis gitu ya. Oke, bentuknya seperti itu. Nah, the question is that how much, what is the composition of alpha and what is the composition of beta? And the question is, komposisi beta apa? Ya kan? Beta itu berapa silvernya? Gitu kan pertanyaannya. Berapa silvernya? Berapa persen? Jadi kalau beta yang ikuti garis ini aja, di sini kemana betanya? Di sini kan? Nah, berarti 91,2 silvernya. Ya kan? Sisanya ya Cooper. Yang di sini, alfanya berapa? AG-nya. Ya kan? 8 kan berarti. 8%. Coopernya berarti 92. Ya kan? 92 Cooper. Jadi komposisi yang ikuti. Jadi makanya komposisinya di sini tulis seperti ini. Alfa 8% AG, beta 91, jadi kita punya apa berlapis-lapis gitu sampai semuanya selesai. Baru nanti kalau udah selesai jadi solid, baru dia temperaturnya turun kurang dari 709 gitu. Dan namanya transformasi that I already told you. We call it eutectic transformation. So transformation from liquid into two-phase, which is happening at the same time with some kind of sequence, and this is we call it eutectic reaction. So eutectic reaction tell you the transformation is occur at a constant temperature. Okay. So let make another example. This example is basically for the PB-SN system, and for PB and SN system, this eutectic occur at different temperature and different composition. This for Cooper silver, it is occur at 779 degrees Celsius and 71.98% of silver. But for PB and SN, it is occur at 91.9% SN and at 183 degree. So this is 180 degree. 183. Okay, this line. This is 183. So whenever this liquid is reach this temperature, and what happens is that now this temperature is constant. There is no change in temperature. If you monitor the temperatures, there is no change all the time until all the liquid transform into the solid mixture like this. So you start forming something like this: alpha and beta, alpha, beta, alpha, beta, alpha, beta. And of course, this is not a single crystal, so it's not start with single. It can occur that is 3, 4, 5, 6 crystal. So it start here. This is mean 3 crystal. Everything is start at the same time, and during this time there will no change in temperatures. Okay, until everything is finished, and then you start observe the temperature decreases. Before it is finished, that the temperature is constant. So that's the idea behind the eutectic. So if you reach the temperature, then okay, something like that. This thing is so the final microstructure. You see that this is alpha, beta, alpha, beta, alpha, beta, something like that. Okay, there's kind of. So this is lamella. We call it lamella. Lamella, something like this. This is lamella. In real life, you observe something like that. It's like kayak kubis ya, kayak kue lapis berlapis-lapis gitu ya. Jadi lamella, we call it lamella microstructure. Maybe just right. This maybe it's right like the lamella. So it's LAMALLAL, lamella. Yeah, lamella is like. Okay. So if I write this into some kind of writing, okay. So if you have a liquid with composition of 91.9% of Sn, this is Sn, at temperature 183 degree, what happens? It will transform to mixture of alpha with the composition of what? See here, something like that. Maybe it's about 18.3 here, yeah. 18.3 Sn plus beta, maybe 97. 97% Sn. And this is not, the temperature is not decreased. It means it's constant until all the liquid is transformed into the mixture of alpha plus beta. Okay, this is eutectic. And then eutectic reaction. It's occur. That is very important concept. Eutectic reaction will occur anytime whenever the alloy composition is this one, 91.9. So that's why, because liquid can experience this composition, and therefore this line is something like this. So if you meet this line, this is eutectic line. So eutectic line is this line. Just tell you that at that line there will be eutectic reaction. Okay. We will discuss it a little bit how it is happening. You see that if you have a reaction at 180 degree, so and liquid is transformed into alpha and beta. So what happens is that because alpha cannot accept Sn anymore, then Sn should go to beta, right? Go to there. But Pb should be going here because beta cannot accept Pb anymore. So this is what happened. That's why it is lamella. So they are expulsion of some kind of atomic things. And the temperature is not decreased until everything is transformed, until all the liquid is transformed. Okay. Understand? And we start with this. A bit challenging to follow this. Hypoeutectic. What happens if you have a line like this, a composition like this? Okay. Something like this. If you have something like this, you are already just learn. You have line like here, and you just learn how it is transformed. So just liquid, and if it is liquid, it's 91.9 weight percent Sn, then the liquid will transform into the mixture of alpha and beta. You see here, okay. But if the line is here, if the composition is somewhere about 30 weight percent, 30 weight percent Sn. So what happened now when this thing is cooled down? Then it will be experience some transformation here, alpha formation here, and then also eutectic reaction here. That is quite complicated, but you can follow it if you already understand this thing. Ya kan ada yang ditanyakan ya. Kira-kira. Ada pertanyaan?
Pak, saya mau tanya Pak, yang
Ya.
bagian alfa plus eutetik itu yang digambar di bagian kanan ini di sebelah mana ya nanti Pak?
Yang ini, yang gambar saya tunjukkan ini. Nah ini
Iya,
belum
Pak.
dijelaskan. Nanti aja dulu, ini masih belum dijelaskan. Yang tadi, yang ini, kalau tadi yang sudah, yang ini, yang bagian yang di sinilah. Ya, yang di sinilah. Yang di sini sudah mengerti, udah. Yang itu nanti agak lain ceritanya. Nggak agak lain sih, cuman nanti saya ceritakan.
Mungkin yang ini Pak, yang bagian tadi SN sama PB yang lapis-lapis itu substitusinya bagaimana ya Pak ya? Jadi saling tukar menukarnya.
Ya kan kayak gini dari sini, ya kan? Di sini kan alfa itu maksimum itu mampu menerima SN hanya 18,3, betul nggak?
Iya.
Ya, berarti kalau dia kebanyakan dari itu, karena tadi kan awalnya dia 61,9 kan komposisinya, betul nggak? Di sini,
Iya Pak.
liquidnya 61,9. Apa yang terjadi? Kalau kamu bentuk grup alfa, berarti kan ini maksimum 18, berarti sisanya harus kemana? Dia harus keluar kan? Ya nggak? Ya, jadi harus keluar. Ya kan? Keluar kemana? Bentuk beta kan? Ya, sedangkan di sedangkan di beta juga gitu, di beta juga nggak mau menerima PB kan? Karena apa? Karena maksimum dia cuman apa itu? Cuman 8, itu 97, cuman 3 malah ya kan? Cuman 3% aja. Jadi yang terjadi adalah saling bentuk, alfa beta saling bentuk, saling tuker anggota gitu ya. Jadi apa? Alfa terbentuk, dia ngelempar. Dia kalau ini PB-nya dikasihkan alfa, SN-nya dikasih beta. Masing-masing ini punya batas. Alfa itu 18 maksimum PB-nya, beta itu bisa menampung banyak SN tapi PB-nya dikit gitu. Jadi jadinya dia seling-seling. Kenapa seling-seling? Karena kan atom itu kalau berdifusi pindah itu tidak mau jauh-jauh, tidak mau PB ini nanti pindahnya ke sini, nggak mungkin. Jadi yang terdekat gitu, sehingga dia secara natural dia bentuk kayak kue lapis, karena kan dia, nah ini nanti bisa diatur nih tipis tebalnya, ya kan. Kalau kita cepat banget dia tipis-tipis nanti, kalau lambat ya agak lebar kan dia. Tapi intinya atom itu kalau pindah dia nggak mau yang jauh, dia yang terdekat ya. Sehingga makanya ya keluarnya PB kan yang sedekat mungkin kan. Ya makanya dia bentuk di sampingnya gitu. Di sampingnya. Ini bayangan saya sih suka kalau cerita itu kayak ya apa ya, kayak pemilihan presiden itu kan. Kalau sudah jadi kan antara partai merah dengan partai biru kan sama-sama kelihatan nggak ada bedanya gitu ya. Begitu sudah jadi, ya bisa-bisa kan nanti dia yang warna merah merah, yang warna itu kan ya, yang warna biru biru gitu ya. Jadi sudah mulai separasi ya. Nah, karena apa? Seperti itu modelnya. Jadi transformasinya itu seperti itu. Jadi yang SN lebih cenderung suka dengan SN, tinggalnya yang PB cenderung suka dengan PB, sehingga dia dan movingnya PB ini ke jarak terdekat, gitu, terdekat. Any other question?
Siapa?
Okay. The important thing is that the composition inside the liquid is always constant. In this system, in this eutectic system, is always constant from the beginning. So from the beginning, it is how much? It's 91.2, 91.9, probably. Yeah, it is constant all the time. Yeah, but let's discuss about this thing. So you have 30. So you have some alloy like this. Everything is liquid here in this temperature. For example, this temperature is 300. Okay, here is easier, 300. And then you have liquid. So everything means that this is random atom of liquid solution. Liquid solution. Random ya kalau liquid solution. Yuk punya atom PB mostly, kemudian ada SN-nya 30% di dalamnya. Jadi kalau punya 100 atom, 70-nya itu PB, 30-nya itu SN, 100 jumlahnya. It means 30%. Dan 30% ini random di dalam liquid itu. Random itu maksudnya kalau kamu nebak, itu nggak bisa tepat ini PB atau SN. Jadi kayak tadi itu kalau laki-laki perempuan, kemudian tidak diatur posisi duduknya dan sebagainya kan, perempuan bisa di mana aja. Dan kamu kalau nebak ke posisi poin tertentu pasti nggak bisa pasti itu laki-laki perempuan. Kenapa? Karena random. Dia agak susah. Kalau aturan kan bisa. Yang bagian depan perempuan, bagian belakang laki-laki misalnya. Jadi random ya. Yeah. So what happen if I cool it down? Okay, cool it down this thing. Okay, this alloy with this liquid solution. So what happens is that if you cool it down here up to this line will tell you that something must solidify. So because you know that this is liquid and this is alpha, so this must be a mixture of liquid plus alpha. Okay, because it is between. Then you should write liquid plus alpha here. So then if I cool it down further on, which is in this temperature sample. So this temperature. So what happened that it start to form if I draw it this alloy again here. So that, but this blue you have start to make red, which is alpha. This is alpha, and you can calculate, of course, right? How much alpha, how much liquid inside a mixture of alpha and liquid inside or at this temperature. This temperature mean this is about 250. Yeah. You just read this. How much this? This is about 250 somewhere here. So if you're going down here and the temperature, it means that a lot of alpha will form. Okay. Let's going down here. So you see what happened now? It is the amount of alpha it's increased. The amount of alpha increase. So now the question is that inside this alpha, this is alpha, inside this alpha, how many SN now? It is 30% or not? how many SN here? How I can know SN here? You can just following the tie line diagram or level rule diagram. You see that you can make a line here. See, everything in the alpha, which means that this is composition of alpha. So amount FSN you can read from this. Okay. Amount of SN inside alpha, yeah, and alpha. You can just read here, going down here. This number probably 18. It's just 18. Just 18 now. 81. Okay. But then the liquid, how much SN inside liquid? How much? You just read this, liquidus. How much now? You just read here, about 50. Okay. It is something that we have already done before it, last time. It is 50%. Okay. Okay. So if I going down to 200 degree, is here, 200 degree. So what happened now in 200 degree? What happened? You should have more alpha, right? Because temperature decrease, you should have more alpha. You should have more alpha. You should have more alpha. So now the story is speaking. Remember that the alpha cannot accept more than 18.3%. From where? From this this line, and they accept basically more than 18%. So there's something here. So basically, to form alpha, you should actually expel SN atau mengeluarkan SN ya, sehingga kadar SN di dalam liquid jadi naik, ya kan? Coba kita baca. Kita baca di sini kadar SN yang 200 derajat tadi. Kita baca berapa ini sini sekarang? Tadinya 50, ini cakap belong-bengkong ya. Sekarang jadi 58 lah ya. Jadi kalau 200 di sini, jadinya 58 dia, bukan lagi 50. Ini kalau misalnya ini gambar ini sekarang ya. Ini saya ganti ya, enggak ya. Jadi ini. Jadi dia 50. Jadi kadarnya jadi naik. Oke. Naiknya kadar SN di dalam liquid ngikuti garis mana kalau kita perhatikan tadi? Ikuti garis ini ya. Tadi di sini, sekarang di sini. Ya kan? Kalau kita turunkan lagi misalnya di sini, misalnya 190 misalnya di sini. Kadar liquid di SN di liquid itu ini ya. Ya kan? Sekarang berapa? 60 gitu ya. Jadi sekarang tidak lagi 58 tapi 60. Jadi kalau kita turunkan terus kadar liquid sekarang berbeda. SN jadi lebih tinggi, ngikuti garis ini. Ngikuti garis ini. Garis ini loh ya. Ngikuti garis ini. Ya, lihat ini apa pointer saya. Ya kan? Ngikuti ini. Ya kan? Jadi 60% kan sekarang? Ya. Nah, sekarang saya gambar lagi di sini ya. Saya gambar lagi yang di sini. Yang 190 derajat ini. Saya gambar di sini lagi, oke? Saya gambar di sini. Jadinya kamu kayak gini punyanya. Liquid, di sini ada alpha. Alpha saya gambar warna merah. Oke. Saya gambar warna merah seperti ini. Agak banyak, ya kan? Agak banyak. Saya jadi kangen spidol kalau gini ya. Gambar pakai ini. Pulpen saya rusak. Jadi gini, yang ini alpha, oke? Nah ini posisinya sekarang 60%, oke? 60% SN. 60% SN. Nah, sekarang kalau kita sampai pada temperatur 180 berapa tadi? 3, itu berarti kan exactly di sini ya. Exactly di sini. Apa yang terjadi? Berapa komposisi liquid sekarang di 183? Adalah 61, berapa tadi? 8 ya. 61, berapa tadi? Di sini kan? Nah. Berapa? 61,9. Jadi 61,9. Sekarang 61,9 di liquid ini. 61,9. Jadi kalau kita punya temperatur punya komposisi 61,9 SN inside the liquid and temperature is 183 degree, composition is 91.9. Kamu punya mekanisme apa di sini? What we have the transformation now? What kind of transformation is that? You should have eutectic transformation. So what does it mean? It means that the rest of the liquid should transform following the eutectic transformation. So the rest of the liquid here. So what that means that you form alpha and beta tanpa penurunan temperatur. Jadi seling-seling, ya kan? Jadi alfa beta gitu. Jadi seperti ini modelnya. If you have a temperature at this point, you will have a formation alpha, beta, and alpha, beta, alpha, beta, alpha, beta. The rest of the liquid, because the liquid composition now is 91.9. So then the rest, the temperature is not cooling down. It is constant. That's why it is written here. It is constant here, and then there will no change of the temperature before everything is start to form the eutectic. So the composition here is the eutectic, microstructure, and alpha. Jadi it's alpha plus eutectic here, alpha plus beta, in this point. Later on we will calculate how much alpha, how much eutectic, and how much alpha. So every time the liquid is composed of 91.9, which is can occur at this line, ya kan? Jadi selama garis ini, maka yang terjadi adalah transformasi eutectic seperti ini menurut. If you have on the right side, then the story will actually the same. A different kind of composition, but really the same. And the main phase here is not alpha but beta, but beta. So then you have something like this. You have beta, and then you have eutectic here. Okay. Ikuti semua. Ikuti ya. Kita will try once more. Yeah, you can think a little bit and try to understand it, and then if you don't understand, you can ask. Okay, we'll try again once more. So you have a liquid. This is in PBSN system. Okay, you have liquid. It's almost the same story with the previous one. You have liquid here, and the composition liquid is about 40 weight percent SN. So inside, so which means that inside this alloy, it is content of 40% SN, and the rest will be PB. And then up to this point, we call it liquidus line. Below liquidus line, little bit, you will have alpha, because they start to form alpha. It is start to solidify by forming an alpha. Okay, and then below this temperature, for example, and this thing, you will of course you will find that there will be a mixture of alpha and liquid, and the amount of alpha is now a bit more. You can calculate the amount of alpha, how much weight percent of alpha, so fraction of alpha. This now is about 50%, and then liquid is 50%. So liquid and alpha is a mixture now in this point. And then now the important thing is that you can read also the composition of liquid, yeah, and also alpha. And whenever the liquid in this point is reached 91.9 weight percent, that means that the green liquid now is at eutectic reaction. It's at eutectic composition, 91.9, and the temperature is about this line. So then they will transform to become something like this. So this is become eutectic composition. So then eutectic is composed of mixture of lamella, alpha, and beta. And then the blue one, we call it a primary alpha. So primary alpha is alpha that formed before the eutectic reaction. And then something that is formed during the eutectic reaction, we call it eutectic composition. It's a mixture of alpha and beta. And then you can just read how much the composition of alpha. You can read from this point. So you can make a line and read from this thing that this is 18.3. And you can read from beta is on the right side here. This is actually 97.9 SN. And inside this, you can also calculate how much alpha and beta inside. Then you can find that this is the amount of alpha, which is S, and also S plus RS. RS is all the length here. But this is amount of all the alpha. including the alpha inside this, all the blue, okay, including alpha, this alpha and also this alpha. So it's including. If you would like to see how much alpha on the, it's only the alpha, you can use this line here. Or yeah, it is not for this time being. Let's first try to understand that first, and then later on I will discuss how to calculate if you have something here, for example. It will different how to write it or to calculate. So that's the thing. So the eutectic microstructures look like this, so somewhere like that. Sometimes it's occur that the lamella is a little bit larger. This the smaller is depend. Yeah, it's not really equilibrium. So that's why this. So then we have two kind of term. We call it the hypoeutectoid if it is somewhere here. So this is hypoeutectic. If something is here above the eutectic composition, we call it hypereutectic. So this is basically some people define it somewhere here, but something that below eutectic composition, we call it hypoeutectic. Something that is hypereutectic. So this is not correct. So it's not until here. So this until here and here, because below this you don't have eutectic composition. Okay, you don't need composition as I mentioned before. And then the eutectic is on this line. Something wrong here. So I should erase. Video is not correct one. Okay, so this is hypoeutectic. This is hypereutectic, and the eutectic is occurring on this line, all this composition. And here we already discussed last time. There's no eutectic reaction here. Why? Because there's no line here. Everything that past this line, it is something that. And then the composition, you see that there will be alpha, which is you form here alpha. See that this alpha, and this is eutectic reaction that's occur in 183, and then this is eutectic, and this is hypereutectic, and this is beta. Basically, why? Because this is beta here. So the story is completely the same. With the left, with the hypo, with the difference that the pro-eutectic reaction, it is beta now, it's not alpha. Why? Because this is beta and this is alpha, so that's why. Okay, then we have another reaction, we call it peritectic, but I'm not sure that. Okay, now this is I think this is your job to understand what is reaksi eutectic. I think will be ini tugas saja ya, tugas saja. Coba nanti ceritakan reaksi eutectic di sini. Oke, silakan di screenshot ya. Screenshot. Saya jelaskan dulu grafiknya. This is, you see that if you find something like this, you have liquid and you have a line like this. You have eutectic reaction, okay? And you see that there is no line like that. There is no line like this. There is no line like that. You see, there is no line like that. So this A and B, it cannot dissolve each other. That's why you don't have alpha or beta. You don't have this thing. You have alpha, A, and B. So if A and B is pure A or pure B, There's nothing talking about the solid solution, just a mixture of A and B. Element A and element B. There's nothing tell you about this solid solution. There's no solid solution in this diagram, but it is only to you understand the concept of eutectic. So I will a little bit tell the story about this thing in the this slide. It's eutectic. Eutectic occur in this temperature and this composition. So what happens that you will have something like this lamella of alpha and beta. Sorry. This wrong. So not alpha, because there's no solid solution. You only this is alpha and this is B. A and B, no alpha and beta. Sorry, A and B. If you have there's no nothing here like that. Okay, so this is only mixture of alpha and beta. So alpha is like aluminium, or B is like boron, for example, or any element that is solidified in this regime. But this is still so you have if you have something like here, and what is the microstructure here that you have this is called this is called intermetallic. This is called intermetallic. Basically, this is not solid solution, but this is a compounds with a ratio of M and N. This is a number of M and N. This is basically compounds. So this regular arrangement. So A and B cannot dissolve each other, but they can form some kind of compounds. Dapat bentuk senyawa ya. Dengan rasio A sejumlah M dengan B dengan sejumlah N. Jadi kalau saya punya A, ini pasti ada A, kemudian nanti ada B gitu ya. Ini warnanya ini A lagi dulu, A dulu, ini A, ini A, ini A, ini A, ini A. Nah di sini nanti ada B gitu maksudnya. Nah B-nya itu ada di sini satu, dan ini apa reguler? Dia reguler dia. Jadi tidak random. Jadi dia berbaris gitu. Jadi regular. Nah, kalau kita punya regular seperti ini, komposisinya namanya compound something AM BN something like this. Oke. Ya. Ini cara kita menamakan dulu ya. Kalau ini AM, ya berarti ini apa? Ini di sini. Berarti ini adalah mixture karena kita punya dua garis ya. Di sini garisnya A, di sini AMBN, maka di antara itu apa? A plus AMBN, kan gitu. Nah, kalau kita punya di sini AMBN, compounds AB gitu nyebutnya. Nah, maka di sini ada liquid, maka di sini adalah liquid plus A plus AMB. Di sini juga gitu, karena di sini ada liquid, di sini ada B, liquid plus beta, ya kan? Seperti itu. Mungkin di sini ada liquid, di sini alpha, ya liquid plus alpha gitu ya. Jadi ini yang versi advance-nya ya. Nah, reaksi ini karena sama seperti yang tadi, ini adalah eutectic kan. Sedangkan kalau kita punya reaksi seperti ini kan tidak sama dengan ini ya. Nggak sama kan, nggak gini dia modelnya. Tapi liquid ya kan. Liquid tapi nanti di sini liquidnya nggak ada, ya kan? Ya kan? Tapi adanya itu ini nanti, ya kan? AMBN. Ya di sini kita lihat, di sini tidak ada A lagi kan? Nah, di sini, dari sini di sini ada A, tapi di sini nggak ada A gitu kan? Makanya dia bilang liquid jadi new solid. Jadinya AMBN di sini. Padahal dari A gitu. Tapi nanti mungkin coba, tadi kita cari. Nah ini dia. Ini agak complicated ya. Nah, kalau ada garis seperti ini, itu pasti dia terjadi pada temperatur konstan ini. Ya kan, ini juga temperatur konstan. Yang bawah kita udah belajar eutektik kan. Nah, yang atas ini namanya peritektik. Yang atas ini peritektik. Reaksi peritektik. Jadi reaksi peritektik itu apa? Kita lihat di sini. Ini kita punya liquid plus alpha. Sorry, A, bukan alpha ya, karena tidak ada saling melarutkan tadi. Di A-nya tetap elemen A, bukan alpha, bukan solid solution, tapi elemen A. Karena nggak ada kayak gini ya, nggak ada kayak gini bentuknya, nggak ada yang kayak gini. Jadi di sini nggak ada alpha, jadi kita nggak bicara, tapi A saja. Jadi liquid plus A. Nah, kalau kita di sini apa yang kita punya? Kita akan punya A dan liquid solution, ya kan? Punya A dan liquid. Ini A, ini liquid, kan gitu. Yang ini liquid. Nah, begitu memasuki peritektik, apa yang terjadi? Yang terjadi adalah A ini juga akan melebur. Yang liquid itu tetap A, menjadi liquid gitu. Jadi yang A ini akan berubah menjadi new solid. Ya, jadi A ini lebur jadi B. Ya, jadi lebur menjadi B seperti sini. Jadi makanya di bawah sini kita tetap punya liquid, tetapi nggak punya A lagi. Tapi jadi ini kompon di sini. Kenapa? Karena ini garisnya di sini. Jadi di sini harus A karena udah bentuk itu. Ya, gimana caranya? Caranya seperti di bawah ini. Kita punya liquid, awalnya itu A. Nah, tetapi karena dia A ini harus berubah jadi B, maka dia harus berubah jadi B. Ini A ini lama-lama dia ke sini jadi B. Ini juga ke sini jadi membantu jadi bentuk B. Jadi sekarang tidak ada lagi A, tetapi B plus AMBN gitu. Jadi ya seperti itu modelnya. Jadi seperti ini nanti model. Jadi di sini nanti ada liquid plus ABN gitu. Jadi seperti ini atom ya. Jadi agak susah ini mungkin ininya. Tapi poinnya dia kalau kita punya seperti ini alpha A, sorry bukan alpha. Ini ada liquid, ini akan melebur gitu lagi menjadi baru, ya kan, menjadi baru, yaitu AMBN. Ini adalah kompon sesuai dengan yang ini. Nah, mungkin nanti di buku ada yang lebih simpel ya. Ini juga. Jadi yang ini juga gitu. Ini sama juga. Kalau di sini ada alfanya, ya kan? Ini alfa plus liquid. Ini liquid, ya kan? Nah ini alfa, ini AA beta plus liquid. Ini adalah peritektik beta, ya kan? Ya, beta plus liquid. Ini peritektik. Peritektik seperti ini gambaran juga. Kalau ada garis seperti ini, terus ada seperti ini juga peritektik. Nah. Intinya di sini ada liquid plus yang warna biru alfa. Begitu dia kena diturunkan mendekati temperatur ini, we will observe that the blue one will transform into beta, ya kan? Into beta. Dan there is no liquid, all the blue will transform into the orange one. So in the end you will have beta. Tidak ada alpha lagi. So the transformation like this, liquid plus solid, you have new solid. We call it peritektik reaction. So you have liquid in red and blue in solid, and then liquid is transformed to orange, and blue is dissolved to form the orange, and then you have start a new solid, something like that. In the end you have all the orange microstructure, and this is peritektik. Okay, that's a bit complicated, but let's make some review. So eutektik, it is something like this: liquid transformed to solid, liquid alpha plus beta. Eutektik is solid to solid. So what does mean eutectoid? Later on, I'm I will not, you talk to it's solid now. So it is liquid to solid. But if it is solid to solid, you call it eutectoid. If it is liquid to solid, you call it eutectic. Okay, and then also peritectic. If it is solid plus liquid, and you have solid, and then you call it, and this is new solid, right? And then if you have solid 1 plus liquid, you have new solid, you get peritectic. But if you have solid 1 plus solid 2 and become solid 3, then you have peritectoid. Okay, that's so basically that's a complete reaction. You have something like this. So you have alpha and beta here, and you have liquid something here, and you have constant temperature here. You have liquid and transform to alpha plus beta, and this thing is eutectic. Liquid transform to alpha plus beta. Liquid alpha plus beta at constant temperature. This is eutectic. Liquid. If you have something like this, you have alpha plus liquid, and alpha plus liquid transform to a new solid, which is beta, and then you have peritectic. Remember, this is thick liquid, thick liquid, monotectic, something like this. So if you have liquid and that's transformed to alpha plus liquid 2, there is still liquid, you call it monotectic. If you have diagram like this, you have monotectic. If you have something like this, you have gamma, which is solid into 2 solid, you call it eutectoid. Eutectoid. Okay. If you have alpha plus beta, which is solid, into new solid, you have peritectoid. Basically, this thing, thick-toid, solid. Okay. So something with liquid, we call it thick, and if something with solid to solid, you get peritectoid. Okay, that's quite complicated, but let's see this. So you have a gamma plus liquid here, and then become delta. So what this thing? This thing is peritectoid. Sorry, peritectic. Peritectic. Okay, and you see that this is something like this. You have delta, which is single solid, and become 2 solid. You have eutectoid, solid to solid, something like this. This is delta plus liquid, which is solid, plus liquid, and become new solid, eta. You have peritectic reaction. Okay, a bit challenging, okay, but I was not. Yeah, you can learn by yourself in my notes in the internet. You can find this thing. Please, this is exercise. Can you do that? A bit not easy, okay, but you can do that. This is good thing to do. Please do this exercise. You can download the and I will put the link on the classroom, and you can put in the classroom, and I can share. The deadline will be next week on Monday. Okay. Any question? Ada pertanyaan? Any question? Yeah, as soon as up to this point you understand that this okay, and the rest you can learn yourself. That's I mean it is, you can learn from the practice also. Last week we will discuss a bit detail about this from the practice. Then maybe 1 or 2 person can start to explain, and then we will. Okay, if there is no question, then we can close the lecture. So submit Monday the letters for this practice. And everyone understand this thing? I mean the practice homework. This homework. Just write in your paper and scan it and put it in the classroom. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then if there's no question, then thank you very much. We will meet next week. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.